What's up, guys? Welcome back to Let's Play the Brigmore Witches. So we're almost done with this level. We can finally go back and activate our boat now that we have the engine for it. I came down here after blowing up those rats and, well, thoroughly destroying that witch to get this corrupted bone charm down here, which we'll go ahead and see what it does. Like I said, usually I'm not in favor of the corrupted bone charms because I just don't feel like the drawbacks justify the perks. But there's some instances where I definitely think they can be useful, and they definitely encourage more experimentation than the other bone charms do, because the other bone charms are just like, oh yeah, that does a thing, whereas this is like, it really does dynamically change the way that the character plays. So I'm gonna go ahead and equip that and see how I do. It's always worth a try, especially with when we start out with a different loadout every time I play this game, because I'm not continuing off of a Knife of Dunwall save file, being I'm playing on the Xbox One version. So I never have the same setup each time, and it's really quite interesting. There's a fair degree of RNG when going into the run, which is interesting. So this next area up here, I had to play through several times in my test runs to optimize this. So I'm going to be going through this pretty quickly, but the objective here is kind of cryptic, and it took me a little while to figure everything out. So there's another bone sharp over there. We're going to look at that in a little while. First things first, I'm going to go ahead and take out the witches in this area, as well as the weepers that are below. Nice thing about it is if we just put them to sleep, they can't fight back, so we can just go ahead and slay them. So despite the fact that they're tough enemies, as I said in the last video, they can be very tough if they're not conscious, right? So yes, Dowd has all the tools to deal with any foe he may encounter. So like I said, the whole reason why we're down here is we're trying to turn the water back onto the textile mill so they can stop using the engine coil to power it. And how we do that is basically we have to turn back on this machine down here and figure out why it wasn't working in the first place. I'm going to go ahead and blow up that weeper with the... well, that might have been a bad idea. No, not necessarily. I got rid of the rats, too. There's other whale oil canisters nearby, and I will need one. Mainly just wanted to clear out those rats there so I could pick up this key component right here. This is what we need, actually. This is a part of the crank we have to actually use up here to turn this thing. So I went and got that first before coming up here. There's a note beside it here. So now we've turned that back on. The gears should be moving, but something else is blocking it. If you can hear that, it doesn't sound like the machine is moving correctly, so we gotta fix that really quick. I'm still avoiding weepers. So there are these weird vines that have grown up around the gears on the machine here, and I'm assuming that this has something to do with the kind of magic that the Brigmore Witches is using, because this is not this is not a natural formation. So we're gonna go ahead and get this whale oil canister here, though. We're gonna need that pretty soon. If it blows up and we don't have any more, I don't know really what we would do. And there's another weeper coming up here. I'll try to ignore him. The reason why we need the whale oil canister is up here we're going to try to turn on this fan, and it needs to be powered on. Of course, the fan is broken, so as a result... Woo! Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure if that'll hurt you or kill you if you're standing in front of it. It probably will. So last but not least, I want to go ahead and blink into this area over here. And there's an outsider shrine in here, so we'll hear from our good buddy here for a little bit.
Delilah knows you're coming, cutting a bloody path through the city in search of her. Your nastiest work in years. She's afraid of you. But Delilah's a brilliant woman. Her coven is rising, with her as the night star to guide them. And once she's hatched her new schemes, she'll have a different kind of power. An empire instead of a coven. I wish you luck. I don't decide who wins and whose body gets tossed in the river to rot. But I do enjoy watching.
Alright, so the key to this door over here, I had a hell of a time trying to find this thing for some reason, because I had checked this guy right here, I couldn't find it. It is right in front of him on the table there. I don't know why I couldn't find that before, but yeah, that was one of the things that tripped me up my first couple times through this. So yeah, like I said, I had that whole area. It's kind of cryptic about what to do at first, finding that key and figuring out the gears and all that. It's a very unconventional objective. The gameplay mechanics are. So yeah, that just took a little bit of optimization to get that fast, and I think I've got it down pretty well. So we're going to go ahead and leave. I'm going to backtrack to the port off screen, and we'll go ahead and depart on our boat. Alright, let's go ahead and find Lizzie's Stride and return the engine component to our boat. And we will make all the Lonely Island references we can handle, because we will then therefore be on a boat. And that's about the extent of that you're going to get from me.
You are an only source of adventure, Dowd. Please, do the honors, Dowd. Fire up the engine from the bridge. Get us in the way.
Alright, you salty sons of bitches, let's get this thing moving.
The Brigmores were an ancient family, bankrupted a generation ago. Since then, the manor has housed 2 street gangs, a smuggling ring, innumerable rats, and the Brigmore Witches. I'd always left them alone, but now a painter named Delilah had taken up witchcraft and formed a coven. She was trying something. A ritual. But what kind? The outsider knows. I cannot abide a mystery.
Alright, so we're moving on to the final level of the Brigmore Mannor. I'll talk about that more here in a second. I was very delicate about managing my money throughout this campaign because there was a very particular setup I wanted to go for the last level here. And I wanted to make sure I had enough money to afford everything. I'm going to go ahead and get the Baffle Dust. That's going to be very helpful. I talked about that a little bit in the previous level because we unlocked the blueprint for that. I'm going to get all the favors as usual, and I want to make sure I have enough money for some explosive bolts. Because we'll definitely... Oh, I don't think I have the... I don't have the ability to purchase explosive bolts for some reason. Huh. Well, that sucks. That was actually very critical to my strategy, so... that's what we get for the LP curse, guys. So I still have a lot of money. I actually don't have anything really to buy it with, unfortunately. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and get the combat sleep darts instead. That's going to be kind of a backup strategy. And maybe another bone charm. Or 2. But yeah, explosive bolts, I guess you only have the ability to buy them if you found them naturally in the wild.
Also, maybe it's nothing, but I spotted several statues of the woman Delilah. I don't know what it means, but I thought it was worth mentioning.
It means trouble. Anything else?
They're getting in and out of the house somehow, but I haven't spotted it. Sorry, sir. Best I can do.
Good enough. I'll take it from here.
So it could be that the witches have some kind of weird trap going on around the manor. Oh, believe me, they do. So now we can hold 6 bone charms instead of 5, and this is getting ridiculous. I'm not used to having this many bone charms, so we're going to add that one. We can now move at full speed, actually slightly faster while crouched, and automatically you can tell that's a great addition. So what these actually are is it's very similar to a wolfhound. It's the exact same AI script, but what happens is the possessed skull comes to life, and when you defeat it, it returns back to the skull. You have to just smash the skull in order to lift the curse and completely destroy the enemy. So the first thing we're going to do is head over here to this little rocky ledge over here on the shore, and we're going to get a note. We're going to avoid this river crust while we do that, and that's going to give us a optional objective based on the favors we purchased. So the Brigmore Mannor, like I was saying, this is the final level, but it is very tranquil and peaceful, and yet incredibly creepy at the same time. It's very, very... I would even say it's disturbing, but we'll get more into that as we go. So I'm going to try to be stealthy for the early parts here. Now, Delilah knows we're coming, so they've set up traps all over this place of various different kinds. We're going to go ahead and get this cache up here. We get a nice extra rune. And I'm definitely going to need that to optimize my setup here because I need a certain quantity of runes in order to get the optimal setup that I want for this. So the other favor that we got was the hole in the fence there. We're actually using quite a... We've completed 2 of them, and then we're completing the objective for the 3rd one there. So we have the hole in the fence over here we're going to try to go through. That's going to skip a lot of the dangers that we have from traversing throughout the courtyard here. The patrolling witches as well as the possessed skull hound things, which I don't really have a name for, unfortunately. And all kinds of other traps.